My name is Heshan, and I wanted to do something a little different today. I wanted to talk about rejection, because if you do not know how you're going to get back up, you have no idea where you're going to go. And I have faced rejection throughout my life, so what better place to start than with me. I was 16 years old in high school here in Nairobi, and I was a pretty geeky kid. I wore shorts that had frills on them, jean shorts. And kids would pull the frills and laugh at you. And I was 16 years old when I graduated, so you're always playing catch-up with people. So you make friends with the people that you're not supposed to make friends with, so that they will pick on you. Terrible space to be in. I applied to these universities, Brown, UPenn, Cornell, because I wanted to get into an Ivy League university. And this was my first experience of rejection, because my 2.75 GPA was so low that they probably didn't even look at my application. So I ended up at this tiny little university in Miami that gave me a very good scholarship. It's in a town called Boca Raton. Very affluent, very rich people who saw money very differently. So you come from Kenya, where a Toyota Prado is a nice car, and you go to Miami where kids are driving Aston Martins and Ferraris, and you're like, where the heck am I? So you need to fit in. You can't afford a Ferrari or an Aston Martin because your parents only give you $200 to spend a year on living, so you get a job. So I worked at a coffee shop, make $180 a week. It's solid money, right? But it's not enough. So a friend and I decided to write research papers for people. The best thing about the American study system is the number of papers that they make you write. And everyone has a paper due every single week. So me and an equally broke Zimbabwean guy sat at the library one night, and Africa rising, right? And we sat over there, and there was this kid who came up to us, and his eyes were so dilated, you know, I mean, his pupils, and it was cocaine. And he told us, here's my paper, and he gave us $50, and we're like, what? $50 to get this guy any grade as long as he passed, and that was all we had to do in one night. By the time I left university, we had 6 people working for us, and we were charging $500 a paper for people. Some nights you make $2,000, sometimes it's a bit more. The problem with that is when you're so young and you don't know what you want to do, you tend to spend money faster than you make it. So yeah, you can't afford the Ferrari or the Aston Martin, but you can look like you have one. So you buy nicer clothes. That's not enough, because people want you to be going out and partying and whatnot, and you're 16, 17 years old, so how do you get into a club in Miami when the age is 21 and you're only 17? You pay bouncers. Now, you don't pay bouncers 500 shillings or 1,000 shillings. You buy 2 bottles. 2 bottles is $1,000 just to get in. And then they don't even give you the alcohol. You have to keep buying inside through other people. And the more drunk you are, the cooler you are in front of people. So now you're trying to keep up this image. And that comes with sacrifices, and those sacrifices were my grades. I stopped going to class, and very soon I had Fs in everything that I was doing. But I still didn't care, because I was living the life, right? You're chasing this high through alcohol and through drugs. When you're in university, you start looking for a girl, right? I mean, you've got no parents around, you're completely free, time to get a girlfriend. Now that's when I realized there's a difference between someone who's good and someone who's good for you. And I picked someone who was definitely not good for me. Like, if you could pick someone who was the polar opposite of who you were, that's who she was. One day I got into my dorm room, and she was at my desk, and she had a line of cocaine on it. And she said, just give it a go. And I was like, you know what, why not? I've got this girl, everything is going well. I look great because I have these awesome clothes. Little did I know I looked like a complete moron, because I had really long hair and a mohawk. This is the person who I was. She one day left me for a guy on the football team, and my world fell apart. And you see these people walking along on paths, and you're like, that was me. And then reality starts sinking in. You're failing all your classes. You start owing money to people you do not want to owe money to. The girl you love has found love with someone else. You're disappointing your family because you're failing all your classes. you're better off dead than alive. So one night, October 20th, 2006, I'll never forget some of these dates, I took 50 Panadols, 50 Peritons, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to kill myself. Swallowed them all, sent a terrible suicide message to my family. One line, I love you all, please take care of my brother. Terrible phrasing. I was drunk out of my face, but I didn't realize that it was 12 a.m. in Florida, which meant it was 7 a.m. here in Kenya. They got the email pretty much as soon as I sent it. So they called the university, and the university looked at all of these cameras, whatnot, America, you gotta love it. And there I was, passed out in the library with a pencil in my hand, because my big idea was, if I woke up from these pills, I'll just stab myself with a pencil. That's how far gone I was, you know, and spent some time, 72 hours in a psychiatric facility in the US because you're a threat to yourself and others. And that's when I realized there are people who wanted to kill themselves much more than I did. You know, I mean, they give you this Bible when you get in there, and it is so soft. Like, you hold it and it flops, you know? Like, it's a very soft little Bible. And my first night, there was a girl who tried to paper cut herself in the throat with the pages from it. And that's how badly some people wanted to die. You know, I come from a family where we don't really show affection to each other. You know, you don't really hug each other or anything like that. My dad came to the States, to the psychiatric facility, and he was crying. This is a man who just gives you a pat on the shoulder when it's your birthday. And he was actually crying. And that was the turning point, because I was living such a me-focused life that ended me up trying to kill myself. So these are the rejections that I faced up until that point. Girl, drugs, university, straight Fs, not going into the school that you wanted to go in, not fitting in with the people that you wanted to fit in. And then I faced my biggest rejection of all. I was expelled from my university and my student visa was cancelled. And I came back to Kenya like that. Now you try to get clean from all these drugs, and that takes a very long time because you're a completely dysfunctional person. You're screaming for alcohol, people ask you about something and you're having panic attacks, frothing at the mouth. That's the person that I was. I was extremely thin. My cool clothes had long stopped being cool. They were now baggy on me and whatnot, and still had the mohawk because I thought that was cool. I decided to apply for jobs after getting clean. And I don't know how many of you guys have tried applying for jobs with straight Fs on your resume. It is impossible. So I decided to get a job at the very bottom. I'll apply to be a kitchen assistant at a hotel, because that'll give me a chance. You'll see that, hey, you know what, he's a bit better than average, and you'll get to progress. Every single place, 15 places I applied to in Nairobi, every single place turned me down. 12,500 shillings a month was that job. Just over 1,500 bucks. And $150, 1,500. And they said I wasn't good enough for that. And that was reality. No matter who you are, no matter who you know, no matter who your dad's, uncle's, friend's, father's, neighbor is, no one owes you anything. This life is what you make out of it, and the effort that you put in will directly translate into what you get out of it. You know, today you face all kinds of different rejections. I get blogs written about me from people who I don't even know, who suddenly have an opinion of your life. I mean, comment sections of websites are literally the most dangerous place on earth, because people can say anything about you, and now you face a different type of rejection than what you were used to, and you still have to keep fighting. You still have to keep wanting to have more. People ask me, what's the secret to success? There isn't one. I never made money the priority. I made needing to be the best the priority. And you'll never be the best. But if you work very, very hard, I mean, for the last 8 years, it has been 16-hour days, 6 days a week. to get to where I am. People think you just fall out of the sky and everything works out for you. You work harder than you did yesterday, and then you work harder tomorrow, and that's how you eventually get to where you need to go. And that is that whole secret behind it. So whatever rejection that you're facing in life, whether it's love, whether it's not the right school, whether your CV just doesn't look good enough for you, whether the people around you are leechers rather than people who build you up, whatever rejection it is, just realize it is so temporary, and it is up to you to decide whether it's going to finish off your life or be part of what builds you up. Every experience that you go through, no matter how bad it is, means something. I had times when a drug dealer held a gun to my head, and today you can go and talk to presidents and deputy presidents and not be scared, because there was a time when someone tried to kill you over money. All of these little experiences, no matter how bad they were, build you up for where you're supposed to go. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.